All right, so today we're going to talk about something you probably think of as just a hobby. We're going to completely reframe the idea of reading, not as a simple pastime, but maybe, just maybe, as the single most powerful investment you can make in yourself. So let me ask you, what is the single best investment you can make for your future? Now, I bet your mind immediately jumps to things like stocks or real estate, maybe a hot new crypto. But what if I told you the real answer is way more accessible and its returns compound in ways you can't even begin to imagine? I mean, George R. Martin just nails it with this quote, right? Reading gives you access to 1,000 different lives, 1,000 different points of view. It's literally an expansion of who you are. And honestly, that's just scratching the surface. So yeah, you guessed it, the answer is reading. It's the ultimate investment in your future, this incredible, untapped asset that just grows quietly but so powerfully in the background, building the foundation for everything else you do. You know, it's kind of wild when you stop and think about it. Our world is completely obsessed with financial wealth and career status, things that can be super volatile. But reading builds intellectual wealth. And that's an asset that no market crash, no recession can ever take away from you. And yet we so rarely talk about it as the life-changing tool it actually is. What's really fascinating here is that because our society tends to undervalue reading, it creates what you could call a market inefficiency in personal growth. Let me put it this way. Because most people overlook it, the rewards for those of us who do understand its true worth are just disproportionately massive. It's like finding a secret advantage. And you see this play out everywhere, right? Especially in our education systems. So much of the focus is on passing some competitive exam to land a secure job. It's all about training for a specific role, which is important, but it often misses the bigger picture of fostering real critical thinking or, a genuine love for lifelong learning. And that creates this huge gap between what we're taught and what actually helps us succeed in the long run. Okay, and this is the absolute core of the whole idea. Knowledge compounds. It really does. Just like money in a high-yield savings account, the knowledge you gain from reading builds on itself again and again, creating these exponential returns in your wisdom, your creativity, and your ability to make good decisions over your entire lifetime. And you know what the best part is? You don't have to start by climbing a mountain. James Clear talks all about this in his amazing book, Atomic Habits, the incredible power of tiny, consistent actions. To get this whole compounding engine fired up, all it really takes is a commitment to just 10 pages a day. That's it. I know, 10 pages sounds like nothing, but just look at how this scales up. 10 pages a day becomes 3,650 pages in a year. You know what that is? That's about 12 to 15 full books. All of a sudden, this tiny, almost effortless daily habit turns into a massive annual acquisition of knowledge. That is the magic of compounding and action. But here's the thing. This is about more than just checking a box every day. It's a mindset shift. The real goal isn't just to read, it's to become a reader. When you actually start to see yourself that way, when it becomes part of your identity, the habit is almost effortless. You're not forcing yourself to do something anymore. You're just being who you are, a person who learns, a reader. And look, if you're still not convinced, just take a look at the people who live by this. Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, Elon Musk. These are titans of industry, and they are all famously, voraciously readers. They don't see it as a luxury they do in their spare time. They see it as absolutely essential to how they think, how they make decisions, and ultimately to their success. All right, so let's talk returns. What's the actual ROI on this investment of your time? Well, the benefits are incredibly diverse, and they're backed by some pretty solid research. Let's open up this portfolio and see what's inside. First off, and this one might surprise you, is your mental well-being. A study from the University of Sussex actually found that reading can slash stress levels by up to 68%. That's more effective than listening to music, more effective than going for a walk. And get this, it only takes about 6 minutes of reading for your body to start calming down. How incredible is that? And the benefits just keep stacking up. It's not just about stress. Research published in the journal Neurology shows it actually helps slow down cognitive decline as we get older. A study from the University of Toronto found that reading fiction literally makes you more empathetic. And think about it, that empathy is exactly what publications like the Harvard Business Review are talking about when they link reading to better leadership and decision-making. The evidence is it's overwhelming. This is where that portfolio analogy really clicks into place. You can literally think of your reading list as a knowledge portfolio. Each genre is like a different asset class. Books on finance, they improve your money management. Productivity books, they help you master your time. Psychology helps you understand people, and business books sharpen your strategic thinking. With every book, you are actively diversifying your own wisdom. Okay, so you're on board, the idea sounds great, but the big question is, how do you actually do it? How do you build this habit so it actually sticks for life? Let's walk through a super simple 4-step plan to get you started.
Well, it's actually way simpler than you might think. It really just boils down to 4 steps. First, start ridiculously small. I'm talking 5 or 10 minutes a day. Just build momentum. Second, create a system. Maybe a goal of 1 book a month and track it. Third, remove all the friction. Keep a book on your nightstand, try audiobooks during your commute. Make it easy. And finally, choose the right books. Start with something you are genuinely pumped to read about.
So let's just wrap our heads around this one last time. Reading is not a passive hobby. It is the active, deliberate cultivation of your own intellectual wealth. It's the one common thread that connects so many of the wisest, most successful, most influential people throughout history. It is, without a doubt, their shared secret weapon. Look, every page you turn, every chapter you finish, you're making a deposit in the bank of your future self, an investment that will pay you dividends for the rest of your life. So really, the only question left to ask is, what book are you going to open first?